Hello everybody and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program, where we are coming into Eve here. We just have it in view. We're going to be hopping into its sphere of influence shortly, and once we do, we're going to grab our science here real quick. So, very soon here. There we go. We'll call that good. We will stop our auto warp, and we'll head over towards retrograde, and we'll grab all of our science here. Perfect. So we'll grab all of that. The material study and the magnetometer report have kind of long animations on them, so it'll take a little bit to get that set up. There we go. But we'll have Bob go ahead and EVA now, and we're just going to head down. I was just checking the EVA propellant because this is actually the second time that I have not really tested, but the second time I've tried to record the beginning of this episode. The first time we had a Kraken again that just sent Bob flying off. It took all of his EVA propellant just to get that under control. I don't know why he's Krakening sometimes there, but it's very strange. Regardless, we're going to collect this data and restore and close that. Okay. Now, I'm just going to let go. We're not going to climb up because we know that there's a bit of a problem there. But let's just grab on. No Kraken. Cool. And we can board. Now, Bob is going to have to EVA again here. The reason for that is because we need to climb on down and conduct our materials study. We had to store that in here, right? So, you know, I actually did this in the wrong order. We should go ahead and collect our data here. And now we can restore or rather grab our mystery goo. Keep that experiment. Restore the Science Junior. Did we already collect that data? Hang on. I'm not sure if we have this data or not. I'm all sorts of confused now. So we keep that, collect this data. Now we restore it. So was that data not stored up here? That's very strange, if so. Well, we're just going to head up over here and store what data we can in the module anyway. Okay. Collect everything we can. We may already have some of this. Okay, we'll board anyway. Looks good. So from here, we will go ahead and lock retrograde and continue to warp. Cool. We need to now circularize, and that'll burn up the majority of our remaining fuel here. Apparently we can grab a gravity scan here, may as well, since that is over the peaks. Cool. So we're going to commence our burn here in about 40 seconds, 20 seconds, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and mark. Cool. This doesn't have to be perfect. We just want to enter an orbit here. We'll still have some fuel left in this tank, but not a whole lot. And that fuel should probably be used up on our inclination change, I think. Most likely, anyway. So there we go. Our braking burn is underway. It'll be a bit of a lengthy one. I'm actually going to physics warp this burn. There we go. Another 20 seconds. Another 10 seconds. Okay. So all we want to do is achieve a somewhat minimal orbit. We don't even necessarily care about circularization, so this should be fine. There we go. Cool. And we're prograde with Gilly, so that should be fine. We'll set Gilly as our target, and now we need to get a pretty good inclination change going here. So we bring this down, and we'll have to go a bit retrograde as well. I want the ascending node pinned open. There we go. Okay. Can we combine this with an interception? That would be amazing timing if we could. I kind of doubt it. But let's bring that down. Compensating like so. No, I don't think we can pull that off. Which is a bit sad. So all we're going to look to do then is get our inclination change done. So that's fine. I just figured we'd check the setup there while we had the opportunity. But this will be reasonably fine. Let's just change our timing here. In fact, we could redo this node now that I don't have any idea where the descending node originally was. Okay, so something kind of like that. There we go. And we're going to need a little bit of retrograde thrown in there. Cool. That's much better. So that's only 56.7 meters per second, right? So that's absolutely great. We'll head on over to that node. And we're definitely going to be able to get our full inclination change done on this. That's really, really good. I like it a lot. So looking at our actual maneuver, we of course are tossing in a little bit of retrograde. So we're going to need to be slightly off of this node. About here. Okay. And we should probably stop warping, because we've got all these gravity scans, and these gravity scans are exceptionally valuable to us. So we do want to stop warp, and let's just warp on forward the old-fashioned way, grabbing a bunch of science here. Okay. So a gravity scan here. Yup. Beautiful. Tick up to 1000x. That's highlands, that's peaks. Oh, that was a little much. That's highlands, though. That's peaks. Highlands. Peaks. That's a lot of the same stuff, but there's foothills. Fantastic. So that's another 100 data. Beautiful. Peaks. Foothills. Peaks. Highlands. We've probably got most of the data that we're going to get here. And honestly, we probably got more data than we need. So at this point, we could warp forward and just be checking. There was one there. Eastern Sea. Got it. And we need to stop our auto warp here. Collect that data. And then we can start auto warping again. Okay, so we're going to be burning here very, very shortly. Let's position maybe a little bit better for that. Somewhere around here. We keep drifting back off of it a little bit. Okay, about here. Let's warp on forward, and we're going to commence this burn very shortly. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. That's probably close enough. Yeah, 0.1 degrees should do the trick. So now we can look for an interception. Of course, this is an elliptical orbit, so we're going to have to be a little bit fiddly here. I'm not really expecting anything over here. Yeah, that's about what I thought. Hypothetically... Ooh, that's really close. Okay, we can fiddle with our prograde and retrograde here. Got it. That's an encounter. We don't really care about how much of an encounter it is, but I'm curious, how much delta V will a circularization maneuver here be? Looks like that wasn't all that much. So this basically completely inverted our directionality for 500 meters per second. So that looks good. We should be able to do our braking burn on this stage as well. That's absolutely fantastic. I'm really, really happy to see that. So let's get into position for this burn. And that's going to be in 68 days. So over we head. And we're hoping to see more gravity scans come available. But for right now, that may or may not be a thing. And I do want to change our rotation here as well, because our solar panels are not very well aligned. So let's roll a bit. There we go. While also changing our position ever so slightly here. Should be close enough. Okay, Highlands. I think we already had that one. I think I missed it. Lowlands. Did we have this one? I don't know. Let's find out. Cool. So, come on, open that up. Collect all. Okay, we need to reset our gravity scan, unfortunately. So our negative gravioli detector is here. We will review the data, and we are going to reset the experiment. Now we grab that gravity scan. There we go. And we'll collect all of that. Cool. Let's warp forward at about 1,000 dex for the time being. 1,000 dex is not all that fast, actually. Let's go for 10,000 dex. Ooh, we are not stopping time warp. Okay, Eastern Sea. Midlands. Lowlands. Peaks. None of those are relevant. That's Highlands there. Midlands. Lowlands. Shallows. We don't need any of that. Lowlands. Highlands. There's still stuff that we need here, but for the time being, let's just pop on forward like so. We're just auto-time warping. Now, it's not going to be the fastest thing in the world. I'm going to stop it from interrupting time warp. Okay. There's a couple that we're missing here, but honestly, I think we have more than enough science already. And we're going to be getting a lot more from this. So I think it's okay. We can see about grabbing some of these on the way out, potentially. Where is Eve right now relative to us? There it is. Hi, Eve. Cool. So we're going to commence our burn in about 5 seconds here. We want to be fairly accurate with this burn, too. Well, in about 5 seconds. More like for about 5 seconds. Okay. Man, that's so fast. Well, that's fine for now. We're just going to park it retrograde. I almost said prograde there, but this is definitely retrograde. And we are going to commence this burn in about a minute. So let's get ready for that. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. Okay. That's probably close enough. Yes. Yes, it is. So at this periapsis, we will simply look to circularize. And, yep. Cool. Something kind of like this. Now, we don't really care where on Gilly we land, as long as it's on the day side. This is very sensitive here. Not much delta V means a big change at Gilly. So 258.6 meters per second. Cool. So we can definitely do our circularization burn. To be honest, we can probably land on this as well if we didn't have concerns about tipping over, which I definitely do. So we're going to be looking to not do that. That would be ideal. And at this point, we're just going to position for this burn. And we're going to get a lot of in-space high over Gilly science first. So let's position for the burn here. There we go. And now we should warp to here, just entering the sphere of influence. Cool. We may miss a couple of things over here. In space high over Eve. I'm not too concerned about that. Did I get Crater Lake there? No, I did not. Sad. Got it. Okay, so we keep that experiment. We should definitely stop our auto warp, and we should collect that data. Fantastic. Next up, we continue our auto warp to here. Okay. So we're heading on in here. And let's see, if we slingshot around Eve, prograde, would that send us out of Eve's orbit? I can't remember. We'll have to experiment with that. I'm thinking about our return trajectory right now. And, well, hello, Gilly. I'm thinking about our return trajectory right now, and I maybe shouldn't be. Getting a bit ahead of myself here. We'll grab our temperature scan, atmospheric pressure scan, we'll grab our gravity scan, our material study, and our magnetometer report. Cool. And apparently the mystery goo observation might need to be reset. What do we have in there? Apparently I can't click on it. Okay, that's interesting. I'm gonna quick save here in case we have a Bob crack in again. There we go. And Bob, go ahead and EVA, and we're gonna head on down. Bob can restore the Mystery Goo containment unit. There we go. And we will... we're not going to reset the Science Tuner just yet, but we should observe the Mystery Goo here. Keep that experiment, and then collect what we can up here. There we go. And then we should definitely rerun these guys. So we'll restore all of that. We'll observe the Mystery Goo and conduct our material study. Keep both of those experiments, collect the data, restore again, and collect the data and restore again. Cool. And now we'll send Bob back in. Hopefully no Kraken. Quick saving just in case. No Kraken. Good. Okay. So we are now ready to commence our breaking burn for Gilly. So let's position retrograde here, and let's warp on over. Cool. About 2 minutes away, 1 minute away. And at this point, we can grab our gravity scan here over Gilly's Midlands. We'll collect all that data. Beautiful. So we have basically all of our in-space high data. I believe Gilly has 3 biomes, and we have the data for 1, or rather for 2. So we're missing the data for 1. 5 more seconds until our breaking burn. 3, 2, 1, and mark. Cool. So we're of course going to dip into low Gilly orbit eventually, but low Gilly orbit's very low. I'm not actually sure how low it is, but it's very, very low. That's for sure. So breaking burn is looking good. Okay. Just circularizing our orbit a bit here. There we go. It's slightly elliptical, but that'll be fine. So this is a high orbit. What are we looking for here? We're looking for the other biome. Let's just go ahead and warp around. So that's Highlands there. Midlands. We're looking for just the lowlands, and we seem to be, like, almost geostationary. Almost. And not really geostationary, but you know what I mean. We're orbiting at almost exactly the same speed it's rotating. That's awkward. Because that means it's pretty unlikely that we're going to hit lowlands anytime soon. We are outpacing it a little bit, I think. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's not possible to actually get a stationary orbit over Gilly, but it's kind of close. Kind of close. So we're going to keep warping around for the time being. We're just looking for the lowlands, and we're hoping to pop into them. Okay. No such luck. Does it say what the low level is here? I don't think it does. I know it's really low. So we could do a retrograde burn to go into low orbit. Something like that actually flipped us all the way around retrograde. This is a 4 meter per second burn, for the record. We're going to bring our periapsis up to around, like, what is considered a safe orbit around Gilly? I mean, I would think that this would be a safe orbit, but we could try something like 10 kilometers. I'm not sure that that even counts as low for Gilly. I'm not 100% sure on that one. But we could definitely warp over to this and commence that burn. That's going to be a 3.4 meter per second burn. Hello. There's that gravity scan. Cool. So we got what we needed there. That's a bit lucky. And let's just collect that data. We should be at retrograde here. Okay. So it doesn't really matter when we do this burn, right? So let's get rid of this. Let's pop over to retrograde, and let's just drop this down to about a 10 kilometer orbit. So we're going to need to be looking at our apoapsis here, or rather at our periapsis here, and it's going to be a very, very minor burn. Okay. I would like it to be just within 10 kilometers. Something kind of like this. Cool. Once we get there, we'll create a maneuver here just as a timer. There we go. And let's bring this on around. We'll warp to about here. Note how slow we're moving. Like 10 meters per second. It's absurd. Okay. So that's looking good for now. We will continue to warp on in. We're not really expecting to be in space low for a while yet. And this is literally just for the timer here. Which we really don't need, to be honest. We have a time to periapsis timer right here. So that'll be fine. Okay, we are moving at a decent clip here as we approach the periapsis. So let's go ahead and warp directly to the periapsis sun. And then we'll just do a very minor braking burn over here. This is still in space high. I'm not super shocked about that. But we're going to do a braking burn, pulling our apoapsis down to roughly circularize. Cool. That should work there. Then, once we are approximately here, we'll go ahead and warp there. Once we're approximately here, we are going to commence our landing burn. So, we're going to basically kill our horizontal speed here. Well, maybe we are going to move over a little further, like to here-ish. And the reason for that is simply, we could very much end up in shadow over here. The last thing I want is to end up in shadow, so we're just going to position somewhere where it's a little bit better, as far as that goes. Okay. So we're going to have to ditch a little bit of delta V in this stage. I'm not going to attempt to land on it. So that's fine. We'll position for this here. And we're just going to kill our horizontal speed here. Cool. Yep, this looks good. And let's bring that on down. Cool. We are now on an impact trajectory. Somewhere around there looks reasonable. Gilly has such little gravity that this is going to cost almost nothing to do at this point. So we're just bringing this on down. We're watching this horizontal speed drop here. Okay, now I think it's going back up. So that's fine. We're now going to ditch this 100 meters per second. I'd love to transfer it somewhere, but we have nowhere to transfer it to, unfortunately. So we are going to ditch that now. We really can't use that anymore, but we can go ahead and extend our landing legs here. Cool. And now we kind of want to warp until we are in space low, which gravity is very low here. That'll take some time. I'm watching our countdown burn here. So that's like 6 minutes. Almost 7. Sure. Cool. I mean, we're falling very, very slowly right now, right? So that's not a concern. This is still in space high. Noted. Okay, we cannot time warp anymore. Now we can only physics warp. And so we shall. And down we go. So we've got about 4 minutes on our landing burn countdown. And we're just accelerating towards this surface. We've got a little bit of horizontal speed here, as we can see, but that's not too concerning. We're going to be landing here right now. About 3 minutes left. This is still in space high, by the way. We're at an altitude of 1,700 meters above the surface, which is quite exciting. 1,400 meters. Okay, 1,100 meters. That's in space near. Okay, we'll grab our crew report, our temperature scan, we'll grab our atmospheric pressure scan, our mystery goo observation. We'll get a second one on the way out, I think. Because we don't have a lot of time here. We don't have time for Bob to really do his EVA stuff. So we'll have to do that on the surface. And we'll grab a second report. Well, actually, we can EVA report and store that. But the rest of this will have to wait. Okay. So we'll collect all of this data that we can. And we'll have to reset stuff later on. So let's go ahead and physics warp forward a little bit further. We're watching this countdown. And I'm actually going to commence this burn here. Let's just lock to retrograde. And we should be in surface mode. Surface retrograde. Thanks very much. Cool. And let's just very gently decelerate here. We're going to need almost no delta V to make this happen. Now, keep in mind, we don't have any contracts for this. Oh, there goes our booster landing. Hilarious. We don't have any contracts for this, but we did get a lot of world first milestones, so that is fine. Going to go into stability assist here. We have a little bit of horizontal speed. I'm trying to throttle us down. Are we fully off right now? I believe we are. We definitely are now. Okay. Cool. So there we go. We've successfully landed on the surface of Gilly. We need to hold attitude here a bit, and we can probably SAS off. The SAS is going to hold us in a strange attitude. We're currently bouncing. Can we not? Let's just settle on in. Cool. So we'll go ahead and quick save here and SAS on. I want to pull us over this way. Because it was wanting to tip over like that for some reason. Okay. Can we just settle in here? No, it really wants to tip over this direction. That's very strange. Okay, let's just use SAS to force it to come back this way a little bit. And then I think we're good. We're not good. Okay, SAS will have to hold us. It's awkward, but SAS will have to hold. So it is time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we are going to do all of our science-y goodness here, and then make our way on home. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including Casserole, ALS Gamer, Kentuin, James, Shadowwolf, MLohan80, Spartan News, Nick Smarty, Video Games Are Not Real, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, Unisil, Kadra, Rogue Corvid, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.